November 19th, 2024, at approximately 6:49 p.m. We apologize for the slight delay. We had some legal and personnel issues to discuss. But before we do our moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, I want to turn it over to our solicitor. We have a brief public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can everyone hear me? I guess we got new speakers.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Now is the time and date set, this November 19th at approximately, wow, we were late, 20 to 7, for the public hearing to review updated comprehensive plan of the Borough of West Mifflin. Council will not vote on this, but this is an opportunity for everyone in the public as well as Borough Council folks to ask questions about this plan as well, pose questions to Mr. Anthony and or the Borough Manager or myself to the limited knowledge that I have on it.
We have Carolyn Yeager on the phone.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. Carolyn Yeager's on the phone, and just so everyone understands that, you know, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Yeager, I'm sorry.
Oh, Yeager, I'm sorry, okay. So is there any questions, comments?
Was this plan advertised?
Sir, could you please come to the microphone and just state your name and your...
4100 Home Street. Was this plan advertised? Was it actually put out for the public's knowledge?
Yes, we actually had a public meeting prior to this for it. Basically, I guess, not necessarily a full public hearing. We're gonna have a final public hearing in January with the final plan to vote. This is just, if any last changes or anybody has any comments before we send it to the county for their 45-day review, and then it'll come back for the borough for a final comprehensive review and then adoption. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
You did. And it would be, you know, available during the same time as Allegheny County. People can take a look at it.
It's like a plan for
As
borough.
they have been, and as the plan has emerged based upon people's comments over the last year that we received, including, you know, the public meeting events.
We've had some public meetings. I believe it was the last night you did a public presentation as well. We got information. We
Yes.
got the date. So and it has been out for the public to review and add comments to, but we just need to update the plan. It's an aging plan. Unless there's any questions specifically or comments before, we'll get ready to move it to the county.
It doesn't look like there's anyone from the public that had any questions, other than one citizen from Duke University, I believe. Outside of that, I would turn it back over to council. Once again, there's no action vote on this.
Do we have to make a motion to send it to the county at all, or we just send it to the county?
No, you could just send it to the county.
All right, well, I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you on the next step. I appreciate you calling.
Very fine, and we will get all of that ready and have the file for upload and send. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Okay, if everyone now will please rise for a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Fulmack. Here. Davis. Here. Santora.
Here.
Ingalls. Stelling. Moses.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Okay, covered.
Okay, let the record show that we have 5 council members present, 2 absent, and the mayor is also absent. Citizen comments on agenda items only. All citizens who wish to make comments or remarks on agenda items numbered 6, 7, or 14 will be granted 3 minutes. Okay, no citizen comments on agenda items. Motion to approve the minutes of the October 15th, 2024 legislative meeting.
Excuse me, Mr. President. Two things. One, I believe the mayor just joined us on, Mayor, are you there? Didn't switch over to Bluetooth. I'll switch you over to Bluetooth in a second and then switch. We did just find out, I don't think the minutes got fully distributed, so if we can postpone that till next month. I think it was there with some emails, not everybody got a chance to see the minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, item number 7, unfinished business requiring official action. Item A, motion to approve the advertising for the following appointment openings: zoning hearing board, we have 1; planning commission, we have 2; sanitary sewer authority, we have 1; civil service commission, we have 1; and the vacancy board, we have 1.
Motion.
Motion by Moses, second by Toponak. Does anyone have any questions? This is something that's routine that we do every year when the terms expire. Okay, roll call.
Holmack. Yes. Davis.
Yes.
Santora.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes, motion carries. Item B, motion to approve annual service agreement renewal with Building Control System Incorporated for temperature control system at the property located at 1020 Lebanon Road at an annual cost of $5,562. Motion by Toponak,
Second.
second by Davis. Is there any questions? Roll call.
Holmack. Yes. Davis.
Yes.
Santora.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item C, motion to approve decommissioning of Public Works Truck R2. The VIN number is 1FDAF57R89EB12268 and authorized to have it sent to auction.
Motion.
Motion by Davis,
Second.
second by Moses. Any questions? Roll call.
Holmack. Yes. Davis.
Yes.
Santora.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Motion to approve liability and lease agreement with Steel City K-9 Emergency Response Team for the use of the community park.
Motion.
Motion by Santora,
Second.
second by Toponak. Any questions? Roll call.
Holmack.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Santora.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Before I read item E, I'm gonna turn it over to our solicitor, Phil DeLucente. He has an adjustment here to make.
Thank you, Mr. President and Council and Mayor. So everyone in the public knows, item E is actually because of an administrative error. In the last sentence, it should say pending KLH Engineering providing a letter. It put DEP approval, but that's unnecessary under the law. So with that being said, scratch out pending final DEP approval and replace it with pending KLH engineering letter for approval. Okay? So council, Mr. President, I turn it back over to you, council, to vote on this.
Okay, item E, motion to approve the preliminary and final site plan approval request from Lafarge North America to the construction of the solar array on lot block number 243-F-375, pending KLH engineering letter.
Motion.
Motion by Davis,
Second.
second by Moses. Questions? Roll call.
Holmack.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Santora.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item F, motion to approve request from Locust Grove Personal Care for a 6-month extension of their conditional use authorization, case PC 24-05.
Motion.
Motion by Moses,
Second.
second by Davis. Any questions?
It's just an extension of what we already have.
Correct. I believe they,
Question on the motion?
we talked about that last, at the work session. Mayor, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had requested a copy of the tape or a transcript of a meeting when they I just wanted to be able to verify that they didn't make any commitment of not shutting the place down as quickly as they have. I've yet to receive it, and I don't know if anybody's had a chance to review the previous testimony they gave at a public hearing.
Who did you make the request to? Mr. Kamo?
Mr. K,
Oh, okay.
and he will.
I thought Andy, I was on the email, I thought Andy forwarded you the recording.
And I said it was not open, and I asked for a thumb drive.
I apologize, I didn't, I know he sent it to you, I didn't.
No, it was not open, that's the first time it was ever open. I just wanted to make sure that we were, reviewing what they said. Did they ever have any intention of closing it down? I know Mr. Davis asked a lot of questions about the security, and that was very timely question. And I'm just concerned about, what they promised and what's gonna be happening. I'm still struggling trying to find these people home through, the subsidized homes and, through the Department of Aging.
Mayor, this is Councilman Davis. I did ask that question at the workshop last week. Okay, so, no, about relocating the people and what they had told us at the initial meeting as compared to what they proposed this last time. My understanding.
And I remember you asking at the initial meeting when they appeared in front of you, you questioned them, you questioned them quite thoroughly about your intentions. And I don't know if the answer is following the place with what's going on. I mean, I was impressed with the picture you had to ask them.
Oh, no, I'm on the same page. I asked the question last week because what they had told us at that initial meeting is different now than what they intend, is what they're doing to the building now.
Mayor, they are in attendance. I don't know if you guys want to answer, if you can answer any of his questions, if you'd like. If not, you don't have to. I'm just saying, but they are in attendance tonight.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Mr. Siren is here as well as Michael.
Can you just identify yourself because it's being recorded for the record?
Sure, my name is Marilyn McGee. I'm counsel for, Capital Health Group that operates Locust Grove. So they can speak to whatever questions the mayor has. But the facility is not shutting down completely the way that I understand that. It's being, closed during construction as they're required to do with state regulations. And Mr. Coons can speak to the efforts that they've undertaken to relocate the residents that are there, and where they are in their process.
Go ahead, sir. You can-
Yeah, my name's Ken Siren. I'm one of the owners of the facility, and we're only temporarily shutting the building down for construction purposes. We can't undertake the construction that we have to take to conform to the building codes for hospitals. And the building's gonna reopen as a Jerry Psych Hospital and an adult behavioral health facility and also personal care in the future. And so these changes have to be made, they're mandated by the state of Pennsylvania. And the building, we hope to start construction as early as January, and it will take about 9 months. Our plans are almost done. And after the construction is completed, we'll reopen the building. And we must shut it down, we couldn't keep.
Yes, they're here to answer.
Okay, sir, of all the residents that are there now, how many of them will be eligible when you reopen?
Residents that are there now, they're being relocated and they don't come back. But,
Right, so,
yeah, they won't be coming back to the building, they'll be new seniors with similar
right,
profiles
so
to
none
us.
of them are gonna be eligible to return to the building, and you asked us for the variance, months ago. There was no mention of the fact that everybody in the building will now be kicked out, am I correct?
Yeah, the residents can come back to the building if they meet the profile of the type of resident that we'll be looking for going forward.
And how many of those current residents meet the profile?
Some of them may meet the profile, Most of them probably won't, but the reason that we had to go down this route is we didn't want to close the building permanently, and we had to make changes for economic reasons so that we could keep the building open and function as an elderly care facility. And that's why we're going through all this. We didn't want to.
I fully understand that, sir, but let me ask you this. When you look there in front of this council, did you say that we'll be closing and everybody will have to vacate when you asked for the variance?
I don't recall whether we did or we didn't. I think what we did come before the council was for a change of use of the building. We described the change of use, and we mentioned that the use would be different. And
Yes,
yeah,
it'll be different.
it would be
It's gonna
different.
be different, all right, because, everybody at Christmas has to find a new place. And just the short notice that it's not what you promised. And Mr. Davis was adamant with your questioning on the security and the different changes.
Yeah, most of the discussion evolved around the security type of the residents that we would have. If it had ever came up that the residents wouldn't be brought back to the facility, we would have easily answered that question. There wasn't, anyone was trying to do something that was not going to be disclosed. It was just never discussed.
Well, there wasn't discussion with the borough either. When you sent a letter out and said everybody has 60 days, why couldn't you give the borough, when you're asking for this variance, and say, look, we have to make some changes, and it's gonna disrupt a portion of your population? That's all I'm saying, is if it didn't have to be behind the door, I mean, you could have just, the borough has worked with you, and we have a great relationship with your facility there, but, again, I'm gonna applaud Mr. Davis on this, that he asked you a lot of questions, and nowhere did it say, we're going to throw people out in 60 days.
Well, let me explain about that letter. And Mike Coons is here with me, who's the executive director at Locust Grove. We're required to send that letter. It's not how we would like to do it. It was drafted by a legal counsel, and the state regulations are very clear what you have to do, and we have to follow them. Or otherwise, we would be violating state regulations, and we would have issues. We're just following.
How about moral obligations when families have to call me and other council people and say, what the hell's going on? I gotta find a place for my mother and my aunt. How about a moral obligation? You could have came forward with that and let us know.
I apologize for not, doing what would be considered the right thing morally. We consider ourselves good citizens, and we always try to do what's right. You could check our reputation. And we weren't trying to push people out the door. There's a whole relocation process that's followed.
But I think, I'm gonna cut you off, but I think you did. That's what I asked you last week, because what you presented a couple months ago is that you were gonna keep the assisted living downstairs and renovate the second floor. What you came back to us last week was saying, no, we're gonna renovate the whole building, we need everyone vacated.
Absolutely there.
And I got questioned to that last week. There's nothing we can do about this, but it was the story that we heard initially was that you're gonna keep the assisted living. Sorry to say that, but that's what I asked last week too.
And we are planning to keep some of the personal care in the building over time. We are planning to do that, and that use is allowed going forward. And that was a key point for us. We always wanted to do that. But we have to do what's economical to be able to sustain the building and sustain its longevity for the community.
I understand that point, and I know what you're talking about. It was just what we were told at that initial meeting to what we're being told now. It's night and day, that's all. And it displays people that we weren't anticipating to be displaced.
We apologize.
I see the borough that trusts you now, when we trusted you back 7 months ago. Don't you see it as an
You know, I think we were always trying to do the best thing that we could. Again, for the community and for ourselves by keeping an economic unit viable. And those changes really had to be made. Otherwise, we would have a vacant building there. We couldn't sustain the use of the building. And Mike has been working with the current people that live at the building, the current residents, and working for relocation. And a lot of them have moved to other facilities, and Mike, maybe you could address that for a minute.
Good evening, my name is Michael Coons, I'm the Executive Director of Locust Grove. As Ken had mentioned, we had sent a letter out to all of our residents via U.S. mail as well as email indicating that the building would be closing 60 days from the 25th of October. And part of that would be that we would have to relocate all of the residents that were currently in the building. As of today, we've successfully and safely transferred 36 of the 59 residents that were available, or that were in the building at the time of the initial rental. We continue to do that. I work with each and every individual that's being transitioned. And, you know, so far, like I said, it's been fairly seamless as far as making that transition to other comparable communities that accept residents that are at Locust Grove.
What happened in this time frame that the plans changed drastically from the second floor, and now the entire plan has changed? That is what you told us.
Yeah.
There's no difference. I mean, now you changed the entire plan. We talked about safety, we put the fence out the back, control everything. Now everything's changed, and we have to vote on this, and I'm not happy voting on this.
You know, we really haven't changed the uses that we were contemplating. I mean, we were here to talk about the uses in the building, and we're still putting in the Jerry Psych Hospital. We're putting in adult behavioral health. All of this is for seniors, and over time, we are going to have personal care, which is assisted living and memory care at the building. So our uses have been very consistent as to what we're going to do at the building. And, you know, we've put a lot of time into figuring out how to do that. Plans have been drawn, the financing is in place, and we're ready to move forward.
Sir, let me ask you, under the law, what is the minimum amount of days that you have to give a resident?
To relocate?
Yes.
It's 30, by regulation, it's 30.
Yeah, Mike, why don't you address that?
By regulation,
The minimum amount of days that you have to give them.
by regulation from the Department of Human Services, it would be a 30-day notice, we granted a 60-day notice.
Okay? And what day does that end?
The projected date would be December 27th, 2024.
Do you have any compassion for families that 2 days after Christmas? This is just, it's a rhetorical question, but did you give that any thought? That's not a rhetorical question. You're gonna repeat it?
Yeah, I'd just like to talk about that. You know, we want to do what's right, and there aren't many people left in the building now. How many are left now in the building? 23, but we would extend the period for the residents for another 30 days. You know, from a perspective, as we don't want to push anyone out in the holidays, we want to do the right thing, and you know, if we need to do that, we will do that. We don't have any problem extend.
It's kind of a lemon-fire gesture, but it's certainly appreciated, especially for those. But out of the 23 you have remaining, you know there's issues, because I'm dealing with the families I'm trying to relocate them as well. So you know there's issues with the 23 remaining, and like, where are we gonna go? But if you can extend it, but that also means you have to extend the healthcare and the operations, I understand that, but it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. We want to do what's right, you know, through our whole, business that we've run in, you know, assisted living, coast to coast. We always try to do the right thing. And
You didn't come into the table today saying you're gonna do the right thing. You came in and said they got 60 days. It wasn't until this council's challenged you right now that you're coming up with another plan, which is admirable, and I applaud that. But let's make sure people are taken care of, and that you follow through what you promised months ago. Thank you, Mr. President, that's all I have.
Thank you. You guys, more comments, or you guys good? Okay, thank you.
Motion.
I think we already had it. No, we didn't. Yeah, we have a motion in a second. Okay, roll call.
Stolnak.
I guess, from legal advice, yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Santoro.
Yes, but I hope you don't come back in 6 months and say, we're closing, we're not gonna be here anymore. And you know what, it is a very poor taste that you waited till Christmas. I mean, that is terrible. I mean, you know, these people, some of them have no family. I mean, why couldn't you wait until spring? I mean, I just think it's terrible. I really do. I'm voting yes only because I know we don't want more empty buildings, but I hope you don't come back in 6 months and say we're closing because funding or this or that or something else. I really hope I don't see you in 6 months saying we're closing.
Moses.
I agree with Mrs. Santoro. I think, you know, the facility has been a part of the community now for a number of years. And based on that track history of you operating in good faith, I agree with Mrs. Santoro. Let's hope that continues now into the future. And I also will vote yes, because we would like to keep your operation within our community.
Stevens.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Item G, motion to approve conditional use authorization requested by West Mifflin Area School District for authorization to allow a storefront located at 1315 Hoffman Boulevard, Suite 1806, West Mifflin, to be used for an educational classroom.
Motion.
Motion by Moses,
Second.
second by Toponak. Roll call.
Polnak.
No.
Davis.
No, based on what the solicitor from the school district said last meeting, that we have it on record, it's saying it was for delinquent students, never at the public meetings was that identified. Mr. Sewell's on record said it was for delinquent students. And I don't appreciate a building being in by Giant Eagle, a liquor store. I think the school district could have put it in a better place, and that's my opinion on that.
Here's her Santoro.
No, and I agree. I live in that community. Senior citizens are there. I see what goes on already. We don't need more problems down there. I fear sometimes going down there, and you know what, I just don't think it's a good place for the students. Anywhere else, fine, but not in that strip mall there.
Moses.
No as well.
Stevenson.
On the advice of the solicitor, I abstain. Motion does not pass. Item H, motion to approve consent judgment by stipulation for Vision Storage to acquire unopened and unneeded paper streets and adjacent to their property at 200 McGinley Avenue. Motion by Davis. Second by Toponak. Questions? Roll call?
Polak. Davis.
Yes.
Santoro.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Item I, motion to approve bid quote by Peter J. Caruso and Sons Incorporated for road repair work to be completed on Vermont Avenue at a cost of $19,936.
Motion.
Motion by Moses,
Second.
second by Davis. Any questions?
What is the timing on this, ASAP, right, or we don't get?
I believe so.
Will we get it done before,
If our hope is not as being approved, then they can
get out maybe this next week or before, yeah, I mean, the forecast doesn't look good, so.
I can do that.
I'll get you the agreement now. Work with the engineer, get the agreement done as fast as we can.
Tony, what do they shut off making asphalt down at the plant? Under 40? I mean, is it like under 40? Is that their cutoff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so next week, we're talking 50, 60s, possibly.
Yeah, I just don't want to have a situation like we ran into last year where we had bits and pieces of the project we couldn't keep. As long as we have that assurance, we're good to go.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call.
Polak.
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Santoro.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. And that concludes our unfinished business requiring official action. Moving on to departmental reports, community development. First, we have Butch.
Thanks, Mr. Stevenson. My report is for October. There are 10 residential permits for fees of $730, 4 commercial permits for fees of $25,080. There were 4 residential zoning permits for fees of $125, 24 residential occupancy permits for fees of $2,400, 5 dumpster permits for fees of $75, 4 food trucks for $140, 21 abandoned property registrations for fees of $4,200, 7 commercial occupancies for fees of $1,400, and there were 3 temporary sales permits for fees of $450. Under code enforcement, there were 25 complaints received, 9 notices of violation sent. There was 1 zoning hearing board case last month. The department phone calls, 25 for code enforcement, 62 for occupancy questions, 27 for occupancy inspections, 71 for permitting, 9 for permit inspections, 38 other, for a total of 232 calls for the month. And that would conclude my report if anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Anthony? Thank you, Butch. Moving on to police, Chief McCullough.
Thank you, Mr. President. This being my monthly report for October 2024, the West Middle Police Department responded to 1,797 calls for service for a total of 17,354 calls year to date. There were a total of 63 motor vehicle accidents investigated. There were 9 PFAs served, 36 domestic disturbance calls answered. There were 4 firearms seized in the month, and officers processed 10 abandoned vehicles. We had 3 reported stolen vehicles, and 5 were recovered. The department issued 229 traffic citations, 25 non-traffic citations. The department had a total of 56 criminal arrests. The mix-up truck inspection for month October had 19 inspections, 11 violations, 7 citations, and we placed 2 trucks out of service. Total amount of citations, $2,846. Total amount of citations year to date, $51,750.50. Officers traveled 26,300 miles, used 2,269 gallons of gas, and officers spent 45 days in court. And we had no response to any dog attacks other than just a lot of abandoned dogs.
Any questions for Chief McCullough? Thank you. Public Works, Tony DeCenzo.
Thank you, Mr. President, totals are for the month of October. The department collected 74 tons of trash, 61 tons of recyclable material. The LEAF program collected 1.84 tons of leaf in yard waste. We used 296 tons of asphalt material, used 2,429 gallons of diesel fuel, and 669 gallons of gasoline. And the department responded to 362 calls for the month of October. And that concludes my report, unless anyone has any questions.
Any questions for Tony? What's our road salt stock? Might snow on Thursday.
We're good.
Okay.
You were gonna provide us a list of the boxes.
Yes, I apologize. Spud and I are still working through that. It's not the easiest to
I
decide one
know,
versus
there's-
the other, but I will email that to you hopefully by the end of the week.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. Moving on to report of EMS, we have Chief Plunkett.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the month of October 2024, we responded to 420 EMS calls. That's another record month for us, with average response time of 8.1 minutes and a yearly 8-minute response. It's for a total of 3,677. Just a couple general updates or overviews. We had our monthly board meeting with our community reps. We will be taking delivery of a new ambulance the first week of December. We had 2 new paramedics start today, so we'll be seeing some new very young, fresh faces out there. We'll see them out there learning. They'll be on their field training for the next 2 months. And we did present our 2025 budget to our board of directors. We did present a balanced budget they'll review for a month and will be voted on next month at the December meeting. And just a reminder, our annual subscription drive is out there. First, I want to thank everybody from the public that has contributed to us. It helps us, it makes us what we can do. But just for a general piece of information, we've gotten back 9.7% of the residents have subscribed. So we still have a large group. There's a lot still sitting out there. So if anybody can help us out, we'd really appreciate it. If they need any help, direct them towards my office, towards our website, www.baldwinems.com. Or you can just call us directly and our office staff will walk you through the process. We have multiple ways you can subscribe, whether it's QR code online or just simply stopping by. And that concludes my report unless anybody has any questions for me.
Questions for Chief Plunkett? Thank you. Report of the mayor, Mayor Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to call in once again. I had every intention to be there. But I did spend from 7:30 to almost 6 o'clock tonight with representatives of Nippon and United States Steel. We had a lengthy, productive meeting in my garage. And I want to thank Council People Santoro and Topolyak and Superintendent DeCenzo for the work with the Giant Eagle Mini Mark. It was a little rough starting, but Superintendent DeCenzo came through with flying colors, and we sent Ms. Santoro and Topolyak really helped. It's important that we keep this going up there. We're continuing the efforts, as I mentioned, with U.S. Steel and Nippon. I did send Brian a copy of a letter that I sent to Mr. McCormick, senatorial elect candidate. I'd like you to review it because it's getting a lot of, it's being generated on a national level. I've also met with, through Councilman Davis at meetings with Montague Heights and the health departments. We're moving along with that. There was some confusion at the last meeting. It's understandable, but we're moving to a better resolution and trying to get some relocation funds for the individuals. If not funds, but at least transferring their Section 8s. I sent a letter to Brian before the agenda meeting when we were talking about budget, about the efforts with the Salvation Army. I don't know if anybody had the chance to review it, if there was any discussion, or that horse. Somebody just from Mike me.
Mr. Mayor, this is Solicitor DeLucini.
Yes.
Yeah, so any donations, anytime there's public money, and I know you do this every year, and I respect that, but the answer will not change that public money can't be used for donations to the Salvation Army.
It was absolutely permissible under the rescue funds. I brought it up to council's attention. It was absolutely permissible. We've given money over the years to basketball, soccer, Boy Scouts, or whatever. That's fine. I'll make up the difference. But I was just hoping that, and we did it for years, Solicitor, and we also donated to the library, which is our pet area. So I understand that. With that, we're working on Longview Heights. It's a daily battle. Some of the horrific conditions that are there. The chief of police is doing everything humanly possible, and we're working on it. With that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Report of the solicitor, Phil.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Council. I'll follow up with the mayor. I've been talking with John Pittman, who's the deputy district attorney, with regards to Longview Heights. Mr. Zappala, he's communicated us quite a few things in the works. I think at a later date and time, whenever there's meetings, I know he's been talking to the chief quite a bit as well. Correct. But there was, I just wanted to follow up with the mayor that that's been time consuming, but it's gonna be the right thing, especially for those residents. The remainder of it, yes, Mr. Mayor.
Before you move on to another subject, there's certain issues that the district attorney and the borough and you and the council should deal with. With daily calls, I have a lady, and I'm going to report it to the police. She wakes up with mice in her bed. I had a lady call me yesterday that was washing dishes with a raincoat on. I mean, these are such deplorable conditions. I think we need to be more unified and take a stance. I know we're doing what we can with the district attorney as criminal, but I'm asking that we call HUD into the table. This is terrible conditions. I mean, the rats and the rodents and all that. I know, Joe, I know what you're doing, and you're trying to help everybody. Well, we need to take it up to another level.
Well, the only other issue would be, see, I can't get into it, but let's just say that government is at work on all levels. So we'll just leave it there.
Chief, I thought we did all that.
But on the decency end, we can still do more, because you can't let it fester. I mean, the health department's meetings set up by Dan have been wonderful. And they're trying to do some things. We have to go to the next level and make it listen, when a lady calls with 6 kids and has no hot water for 4 months, those kids didn't ask to be brought into this world. We can do more.
We've not cited them on numerous occasions. We've cited on everything we possibly can cite.
And Chief, you did talk to her, correct?
Sure.
We had done twice.
So everybody, yes, the district attorney is working with HUD. And, there's a lot of moving parts.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
everybody's aware, everybody's aware.
I was on the phone with the
Yes, I think
today as well, so we're aware. I mean, again, we can't speak what's happening, but it is happening.
I mean, Mayor, I could contact you tomorrow, if you'd like. I think you have the same update that I've had. Unfortunately, I know what's going on in his departments, and being the mayor, he'll send me notices, and I'll send him, and we send it before it to the district attorney's office. The problem is, there's nobody to fix these problems. They don't even have security there. They only have management there from here to there, like it's, so you have all these residents, and the biggest problem is there's just nowhere for them to go.
Mayor, can we get the Red Cross So where does it turn to get their health people?
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely. And
that's what I'm saying, then let's
section,
go do that.
There's a lot of different agencies, and you gotta remember, you're asking people to leave their homes. And sometimes this is the only home they know.
I understand that, Mayor, this comes with the point, I do understand that, but if it's that deplorable, they can't stay in there, they have to leave. I mean,
I agree.
and we might have to take action, maybe Salvation Army or Red Cross would put them up somewhere for a while until this is all resolved.
Well, if the health department condemns it as uninhabitable, then it's incumbent upon them.
Well,
That's which is why, right, which is why they're not gonna do it, in fact.
Councilman Moses, let me just tell you this, when the new ownership took over, we thought that it'll be all, everything's gonna be cleaned up. We, the borough, inspected a little, Butch, am I right? That we inspected every department and gave them the green flag.
No, we never made it through all of them.
That's not what happened.
Well, okay, well, all I'm told is they went down and inspected them, and they said they gave the okay.
Oh, no.
I know, 100% that's completely.
Okay, well, it might be done.
I can tell you, we went down there, and when it was being sold, we gave them an as-is sale pending inspections. We've done the inspections on so many of them, and none of them have passed.
We failed every one of them, some we couldn't get into.
Okay, that was not passed on to me. I thought it was, okay, I'm not apologizing, I'm just telling you, I thought it was okay.
Jeff failed the majority of them.
What, I'm not being adversarial.
Okay.
So they actually, after Jeff failed the majority of them, I think only 2 or 3 passed.
Right.
They actually.
Okay, well, how did they get occupancy?
They cut him off.
Hold on, Mr. Mayor, hold on, there's.
They cut him off, because I was working with Jeff. They cut him off.
From going and doing
They
anymore.
would not let him go.
And finish, yeah.
Yeah, once the one middle company left,
Yeah.
this new company over, they would not let
Yeah.
him back into the building.
Same thing, the management company, stalled us also during the thing.
We should have had a report on that. We should have been notified that they wouldn't let you do the inspections.
We did it, yeah.
That's a fairly.
Butch, do you have a report?
We were all,
I openly spoke on that.
yeah, that's on record with the DA.
Yeah, because this all just happened at like the same time, Mayor. So so Jeff was down there doing them, and then, probably not even a month before, they shut him off, then he filed all them citations.
Right.
To the magistrate, and then that's when the officers brought to me all the conditions that were worsening. And I had made you aware of all that.
That's what triggered it.
That's what triggered it, and then that's when we called the DA. So this all happened within like a month, so.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you, and we were on board with calling the district attorney.
Yeah, remember me and you discussed it, and
Absolutely.
it took us, it took me multiple times until I sent that one video that I had shared.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, you did.
yes, so, but what I'm saying is, from the time that they stopped letting community development into the apartments, and the time that we reached out to the DA's office, it was only, I don't even know if it was less than a month. Yeah, it was
Okay,
just weeks. Yeah, it was very, it all was.
Nobody, there was no report submitted to council or Dave that they stopped us from inspecting.
Yeah, I guess we apologize, but it all happened very quick.
Okay, well, that changes the whole, atmosphere of the program. I mean, we didn't know that. I don't think everybody on council knew that our code enforcement was stopped from inspection this festival of rodents. Is anybody on council aware of that we were stopped from inspecting?
Okay, did anyone? No, I don't think anyone did.
Yeah,
No.
well, that put us in a bad position. But, okay, let's move forward.
Good. Phil, still your report?
I have no further, to report on. Thank you.
Any questions for Phil? Thank you. Report of the engineer, we have here tonight from KLH Engineers Incorporated.
Thank you, Mr. President. We've been working with the manager and the subcommittee to vet our potential architects for the community center building. And we've also been working with the architect on the upcoming local share account grant for phase 1 of the community park infrastructure, the grading, the utilities, the paving. And that's a grant that's due at the end of November, so we're just working in conjunction with the mayor on that. Be happy to take any other questions on the report that I've seen.
Any questions for Kevin?
I just guess the new playground we're gonna be putting in, we started any of that grading.
We did the grading, I talked with Matt, Friday, so they did the, computer survey, I guess, so to speak. He scheduled to have the survey go out and actually stake the property. So I guess as soon as that's done, Mr. Vincent will start grading. I believe the equipment will be here Thursday. The equipment has been purchased and ordered. It's scheduled to be delivered on November 20th. So we hopefully will have everything graded, weather permitted, and be ready to install early March.
Are we working with Tree Pittsburgh again, maybe to repopulate some of the trees in the park?
Yeah, so that's part of the project with this and the pickleball court. They're gonna come up, and we already have preliminary, but we're gonna put some new shrubs and do a massive tree planting, that, again, I know people maybe didn't do the whole story when they were taken down. They were taken down for a reason. They were all diseased and they were dangerous, they were falling, so we didn't do it just because we didn't like trees. There was a purpose, and we will populate the trees.
Is that it?
All right.
Report of the manager, Brian Camo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will keep my brief tonight. I gave everyone a copy of my financial report for November. General fund balance as of October 31st stood at $6,744,632.84. Expenditures for the month of October totaled $1,322,117.27, and deposits totaled $687,062. The only other item that I will give you is, some of it's been covered in everybody else's report, but Mr. Davis and myself did meet yesterday. There was a completion of a flood study for 51 corridor from Lebanon Church down. This was funded by Senator Devin Robinson. So we did have a preliminary with a lot of options, very expensive options. So we're looking into the next stages for funding, but it's a multi-communal project, looking at starting again here from the airport all the way down to 51 corridor where they get a lot of flooding. So if Mr. Davis has anything to add, we will continue to update you on that, but we're working on that. That'll conclude my report this evening.
Okay, any questions for Brian? Motion to approve payment of the bills that were approved by the finance committee.
Motion.
Motion by Davis,
Second.
second by Santoro. Roll call.
Olmec? Yes. Davis?
Yes.
Santoro?
Yes.
Moses?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. New business, does anyone from council or the mayor have any new business to bring up?
I do, Mr. President.
Councilman Davis?
Just wanted to say we had another successful Halloween in the park. It was very well attended. I think all the fire companies, DFW, everyone that was attending there, I think everyone had a good time with that. Our next event will be December 3rd, Light Up Night here on a Tuesday night at the Borough Building. And regarding the pickleball court is open for use, but it still has to be finished next spring. And because of that, we've adjusted the park hours to be open when there's decent days. If it's inclement or snow, we will close the park, but we have made some changes and it's stated that on the webpage now. And that would be it.
Thank you. Anyone else? No one else with new business? Okay, citizen comments by prior request to be placed on the agenda. As always, please come up, state your name. State your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. First, we go Eileen Straub.
ask Mr. Anthony if he measured the structure at 204 Castle Drive yet?
I can tell you, Mrs. Straub, I had my department reach out to Mr. Johnson with regards to performing an inspection, and he has indicated he is not ready for an inspection yet, so my staff could not get in and measure it.
Okay, I told you last month about he's an artist, so I'm just curious. So, okay, and, I don't know, we found rats outside on the street in front of that home, and in between his house and the neighbor's house, there's been several rats. And I did look that up, and rats do like, one of their main foods they like to have is dog food and dog droppings, so that could be one of the reasons they're out there, but I don't like rats being in the, like, there's been 4 or 5 rats found right in that vicinity. And I do feel that the dog ordinance should be revisited. I spoke with a lawyer, and he said that the dog ordinance in the city of Pittsburgh is upheld all the time when they go to court. So I don't know why we can't revisit it with maybe with more dogs and not all the stuff with birds and fish and turtles and everything, just dogs and, just not so widespread as it was before, that made the whole borough go crazy. That's all I wanted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Up next, we have Caroline Benet.
Caroline Benet, 219 Dundee Drive. Mr. Anthony, I have a copy here of the zoning on what a structure is really allowed to have in West Mifflin. I don't know if you read this or if you've given it to her, but in regards, there is nothing here on your structure zoning that allows anything living in the structures. So not only is his structure illegal because of the size and because it's a kennel, it's not a structure, and he has dogs living in it. So all of your structure stuff here does not allow dogs because it's a kennel. So I was wondering when we can get a picture of this kennel, because Mr. Johnson does not want.
I could not get my staff, we could not go into his property without.
Well, can you just explain to me why that is? Because number one, the structure.
Mr. Solicitor, can you explain to her why I cannot go on her property without the owner's permission?
Well, it would be a trespass. He could then actually call the police and cite.
So can we get a picture from a residence? The next door neighbors, everyone's afraid of this man. So no one wants to get a picture from their next door, from their yard next door.
Ms. Viney, I try to help as much as I can. I can't give private advice to a citizen on what they.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that allowed, if I get an okay to go into somebody's yard, can I get a picture of this kennel?
I don't deal with hypotheticals. I'm not trying to buy.
No, I've seen you on TV. I find that hard to believe.
But,
But I would like to get a picture some way or another to prove that it is a kennel, and it's not a structure, and none of your structure here
Can I see that?
allows.
Can I see that?
Yes, allow any kind of living anything.
Okay. This
So
is
now,
accessory structures,
No.
right?
Accessory.
Accessory, exactly, they're accessory structures, just like everything else
Just like a
is described
playground.
there. Everything else is
Mr.
described there.
Anthony, you know that it's wrong. I just
No,
don't know
it's-
why, I
it's
just don't
not-
know why you
it's
can't
not
even
a
look at
kennel.
anybody when you're
I can
saying.
look at you, it's,
You know?
a kennel is a structure, it's an accessory structure.
But the kennels are not allowed in a residential area in that size.
No, you're talking a business kennel.
That is a business, and that is a business kennel.
Okay,
That is a
It
business.
doesn't matter. I've been all over this area, North Huntington, everywhere. There is nobody that has anything like this in their backyard. Nobody. If you show me one besides White Oak Haven on Lincoln Way, looks exactly like what this man has. And now I don't understand why you can't get into, he never got a permit for this.
He
in the
does have
first
a
place.
permit, he does have a permit now.
So now he has a permit.
He's-
He didn't have a permit at the beginning.
Well, there were
And it was-
situations that involved the lots, that's why it took so long to get this all completed. He had two parcels, he put the structure on the vacant parcel, he corrected that by consolidating the parcels, and then he was issued his permit for the fence and for the accessory structure that he built.
The accessory structure that houses animals.
Mr. Anthony, does he have a business permit or occupancy permit for a business?
No, sir, he doesn't, because there's no way to prove that he's running a business there.
Yeah, we addressed that.
We've addressed this before.
That's obviously a
The,
business.
in the Bloodwood 412 Kettles.
Somebody has that.
You know, we do, Mr. Mayor, and there's been quite a few meetings we've had discussing this, just as it was similar to. Okay.
All I'm asking is for a picture of the kennel / structure, and if you could show me anywhere that allows a structure to house animals, let alone people. You can't even house people in somebody's structure in the backyard. It claims it's playgrounds, it's all kind of other things, other than a kennel to house animals.
Well, so let me ask you, so he never gives you, say he never gives you permission to go on his property, then what's our next steps?
I'd have to talk to the solicitor about it.
Yeah, then we would enter into a litigious area, which, you know, we don't want to speculate, because he has rights as well, but we would deal with it. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, well, thank you, but, we're not going away with this, because, and like I said, now there's rats. I don't even go up there, but I have pictures of the rats. I didn't look at them because I've never seen a rat in my life, but the neighborhood that was walking. Now, we have rats in a neighborhood that doesn't even own there's not a restaurant, there isn't anything. It's dog poop and raw meat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kevin Squires?
Kevin Squires, 446 Glencoe Drive. I just wanted to voice my disappointment at council failing to approve the conditional use authorization for the school district tonight. I understand there were some concerns about the location. Even more concerningly, there seem to be concerns about the types of kids that are there. I think that is drawn from a place of ignorance and uninformed information about the program itself and what exactly the intended use is, and the idea that students need support. And I'll tell you, my older sister, she had severe social anxiety. She tried so many different things just to be okay to go to school in the morning. And the school tried a lot of different things too. They tried night classes, they tried cyber programs. She tried everything she could. And what eventually worked for her was actually going to CIS Phase 4 at the Century 3 Mall when that was in existence back then. But it was an example of the school district failing my sister, failing people in our community. The students that would benefit from the Titan Academy and having it in that space are students that are in the district right now. And they're not being best served. They can be better served in a dedicated, allocated space. And that's what the district was looking to do. And I hear Ms. Santoro whenever she says anywhere else would be great, but not right there, because that's the space she doesn't want it in. But again, I think that's characterizing the students and the program in a way that they don't deserve and that the community doesn't deserve. Thank you.
Jim Jasinski?
few things real quick. The sewer project that's going on in Huntsville, that seemed to have come to a complete stop. Anybody know anything about that?
The pump station, and then they were pipe bursting up to, I think they're supposed to go into the old Borough building.
I understand that there was something that the sewer, the people putting in the sewers ran into a water line.
There is, I talked to them, I'll just give you the short version. There is a utility issue there, so they're working on it. It's not done yet, it's on pause till they finish it, because they want to complete all the way up. But they're working with the water company. There's two mains that are too close, so they're working on it. So it's gonna be it's paused right now, but they need to finish the project.
I understand that the EPA is planning on making the sewer system put in filters on all the storm runoff drains.
I would have to talk to, again, it's now down to the sewer authority. I would have to defer to them and find that out, I'm not sure.
My thought process there was, again, that's going to be, the cost is going to be pushed off on the residents. And I didn't know if anybody knew anything about what, a ballpark of what that was gonna cost.
I mean, I didn't hear that one, but I think you remember when we started doing the original one, when they did the MS4 and they did the unfunded mandates, the original cost of that was 3.2 million of unfunded mandates for just the water retention and all the sediment reduction. So again, the DEPs, I didn't hear the filter one. I know they request that. I don't know if they required that yet. You know, we've heard that when I learned some of it before, but I wasn't aware that they're forcing that mandate yet. I'm sure at some point, the way that's going, it looks like they probably will.
And obviously, the cost is gonna get pushed off to the residents.
And just like any
That's the way it
mandate,
happens. We appreciate all the work that you fellas and ladies have done with Midway. Century 3 seems to have gotten pushed on the back burner. Can you give us a little bit of an update on what's going on there?
I mean, actually, again, I don't know how much I can get into the legal part of Dave. I mean, they're continuing to demolish. If you go past, there's more part of the structure going down. They do have, as long as, if I'm not mistaken, I think I can say this, what the judge said, as long as there's progress being made, they're progressing, they're going to demolish the building down.
Yeah, so Judge Rangos said just as long as there's progress being made, Mr. Jasinski. On the other side, that's the right hand, that's Mr. Zapala's case that we're monitoring. On the civil end, they did appeal for purposes of the condemnation hearing, which was a very, very strong hearing. I mean, it was very, very fact-based, great hearing. They decided to appeal it because we won in front of the common police court, in front of Judge McGinley. So they appealed it to the common court, so.
Yeah, Jim, if you look, the parking deck is all gone.
Yeah.
J.C. Penney's is gone now. I mean, they're slowly making away. They're recycling as much as they can out of that building, and that's why it's going a little slower. They're at their own pace.
From what I understand, all the mold issues and things like that are all predominantly where the food industry was.
Everything's been addressed and taken care of. It's pretty much got it inside now.
Thank you. Any idea what happened and where the $1 million that the state gave? Who, in other words, who controls the checkbook on that one, the state or?
We have nothing to do with it.
The
Thought
state
it was
is handling that?
unusual. We thought it was.
I can give you some updates on that, Mr. Manager.
Thank you.
The money will go on, and it'll be contingent on them following through with their promises, or it's all taken back.
Any thought process going on repairing the roads?
Still private property.
Sorry.
Hey, I've asked numerous people. I've asked to talk to the representative. I've talked to their lobbyist. I've asked them to get the 3 potholes up by 885 fixed so you can turn in that right lane. And I said, they're working on it. They're working on it. Those 3 potholes up there by 885 are horrible.
One last thing, happy Thanksgiving to all of you people. Thank you.
One question for you, if you don't mind.
little feedback, but the speaker's better for you?
Working 80%, yeah.
So if we work on the mic a little bit.
Still gotta sit closer.
I mean, I thought it'd be a little bit, in 5 years, so I'll give you a little something.
No, it was asking me. It was asking me, where did you get the system at Ollie's?
Best Buy.
Thank you.
You too. Okay, that was the last speaker that said yes. I see we have some residents from Old Downey Avenue. Do any of you want to speak? Because you didn't mark yes on there. So they're all gone. They left? Glad you did. All right, thank you, Chief. It's a motion to adjourn.